My date with Mirrored Heavens, I have to talk about it with you. Welcome to After the First Date, where I share everything from my book date. As a warning, this is a spoiler discussion. This book date took me on an emotional roller coaster, and I need a cozy book after this. I really enjoyed Giala's storyline and learning more about the teak in this book. I thought it was just so sad, but also so beautiful. The scene where she was mourning for everyone who had passed and she was singing her song, and I couldn't believe that she was just put under such pressures to save everyone. And then when her poison tea plan got ruined, I was just so stressed and so worried. But then it was really cool when she went into her mermaid form and went after Toon and then summoned the Kraken. I was so happy when she came onto the scene and saved Serapio by using her soundless version of her teak magic. And then I was so sad moments later when she had to free him from the crow god. Giala is just so wise and grounded, and I thought it was incredible how she was able to recognize that Serapio has to take his own path to redemption, and she's not going to necessarily be ignorant to the fact that he has to do that. Instead, she wants to be his beacon on shore as a way to help him. I also love how matriarchal the teak culture is. There was a quote I found so funny. It was safer to trust a lying teak than a truthful man. And I'll leave it at that. This book really started with Serapio doing some terrible things, and yet at the same time, I was still really rooting for his redemption arc. I thought one of the saddest scenes was when he had to kill his father, only to find out that his father had loved him all along, and then later to find out that that actually wasn't his biological father. I was so relieved when Serapio and Giala were reunited. It was such a heartwarming moment, and their conversation together was just so beautiful. And as a reader, I really needed to read some sort of hope by that time in the book. I was also really happy when Serapio and Okoa were reunited. I feel like Serapio said everything that Okoa wanted to hear, and yet I felt conflicted on it because I knew Serapio was being manipulative, and at the same time I do think there were elements of him being genuine. Seeing Okoa happy and just working with the engineers was the happiness that I wished he had in the second book. And then it was so sad for Okoa to be manipulated again and then go to jail and be tortured, escape jail, only to find Giala and then have to save her by doing another sacrifice. Now we think he's dead again, but then turns out he didn't die, and now he's gonna go infiltrate the enemy camp, only then to actually die, and the person that was sent to kill him was his sister and the winged serpents? That was just so devastating. Okoa deserves so much more. I will say I wasn't as invested in Narampa's line during this book. I did think it was really interesting that she was learning dream walking though. I will admit I was a little bit bummed that Narampa and Iktan got back together, but I also understand, like, in this world, love is so hard to find, and to be able to find it in any capacity is something that you have to hold on to. Again, it's just because I am holding the grudge from book 1 with Iktan's betrayal, and just to reiterate, like I said in book 2, I think Iktan narratively is such an incredible character, and it was really nice to kind of see that arc close with Narampa and Iktan. But it is really sad that she hasn't woken up and Iktan has been looking for a solution all these years. I also really came to love Pawaga during this book, and I wish there would have been some current day scenes between Pawaga and Serapio beyond just the one at the end. Ultimately, I am really glad that Giala and Serapio ended up together and they were both alive. Honestly, I thought everyone was gonna die at the end of this book, and it is really cute that they have a son together and she kept him despite her teak culture. I will say I was kind of bummed that Serapio didn't come to Giala after he had been more grounded. I feel like throughout their entire relationship, she was always the one going and searching for him, and I think it just would have been really poetic if he was the one who came to her in the end. But that's just me being selfish. Anyways, I loved this series, and those are just some of my book date highlights, but I want to know, what did you think about Mirrored Heavens? How did your book date go?